Thanks for joining us. And today we're going to talk about, do you have to give up sex to practice Kriya Yoga? So there are some Kriya Yoga schools that claim that to become very advanced in Kriya Yoga, you have to be a renunciant, one who has renounced the world to become a monastic. And this is reflected in some Kriya Yoga schools where they have a deference towards a certain monastic order, regardless of the level of development of the particular individuals who constitute that order. Now, when Shamcharan Lahiri, who later became known as Lahiri Baba, the originator of Kriya Yoga, first met his guru, Babaji, in the Himalayas in 1868, he received Kriya initiation from Babaji. And at that point, he was so gladdened with his sadhana, with his spiritual practice, that he expressed a desire to become a renunciant and spend the remaining years of his life with Babaji in intensive sadhana. Babaji told him, if there had been no family existence, the creation of the Absolute would have waned. Everybody is born in this family existence. Sadhana is not for renouncers only. Family men today are not finding any means to make the quest for God. By remaining within the family ambit, you will show them the true path. Let a sadhana-oriented householder be established in this manner. And so prior to Lahiri Baba being initiated by Babaji, Lahiri Baba was a householder. He had a wife, he had several children, he had a full-time job. Even though he was initiated by Babaji into this Kriya Yoga practice, and then he had started to recollect his past lives and to realize his true spiritual stature, Babaji nonetheless directed him to share this yoga sadhana with other householders. And really, Babaji was saying that this is a balanced means, this Kriya Yoga is a balanced means to incorporate into one's everyday life. Now, Kriya Yoga is a very intensive practice designed for householders, people who have busy lives, who have little time, who may have family, who may have career, they may be students and so on. And so they do not have a lot of time to do meditation, but because Kriya Yoga is so powerful, it allows one to get very quickly into an internalized state that is conducive for meditation, and then to take steps accordingly for one's spiritual advancement. Now, Lahiri Baba had disciples from all different walks of life, some of whom were renunciants and some of whom were householders. So he did not discriminate who received Kriya Yoga. But with his most exalted disciple, Panchanan Bhattacharya, who had taken the vow of celibacy as a young person and later became a sannyasi, a renunciant, when he went to Lahiri Baba and asked for Kriya Yoga Diksha, Kriya Yoga initiation, Lahiri Baba told him that he would give him initiation contingent upon Panchananji giving up his sannyas vows and returning to the life of a householder. So consequently, Panchananji gave up his vows, became a householder, opened a flower shop, and then became intensely devoted to the Kriya Yoga sadhana in helping Lahiri Baba to organize and teach this Kriya Yoga. Now, for householders who are practicing Kriya Yoga, Lahiri Baba counseled moderate sexual activity within a committed relationship. And so he knew that this gave a balance between the worldly life that one was engaged in and the spiritual life in one's sadhana. And in some cases, Lahiri Baba counseled some of his students to have sexual relations with their significant other up to twice a month. Now, by virtue of being a householder, one is normally involved in some sort of sexual activity, even if one doesn't have a partner. But the point is to have a moderate, wholesome sexual activity, rather than either repressing one's sexual desires or engaging in unwholesome sexual activity. These latter two, the suppression of sexual desire and the engaging in unwholesome sexual activity, will lead the mind to have hindrances that will rise in one's meditation and impede one's spiritual progress.
So what is the difference between wholesome desire and unwholesome desire? They both come from kama, from desire, but there's a wholesome desire, and this is chanda. And this kind of desire allows the mind to be uplifted, and as well it is without attachment. Contrary to that is tanha, which literally means thirst, and is really a form of craving with attachment. The problem with tanha is it leads to a denigration of the mind. And if one has tanha, craving, and there is further attachment, this turns into clinging, which is called upadana. And clinging has a greater attachment where one rationalizes one's desires. And this clinging, this upadana, in turn, if there is continuing attachment, turns into bhava, which is embodiment or habitual tendencies, where one's behaviors become normalized. One develops a sense of identity around this unwholesome desire. And furthermore, if one has continuing attachment, this bhava turns into the birth of action, jati, which is like the arrow that is drawn from the bow and is released towards its target and has irreversible karmic consequences. The creative impulse is a manifestation of Shakti, the divine goddess, and it is an ecstatic force in the body and an immanent aspect of the divine. Shakti is looking for her consort Shiva, the transcendental aspect of the divine, the light of consciousness, also referred to as Purusha. If Shakti encounters lesser suitors in the form of unwholesome desires, she will continue to restlessly look for her consort, and this occurs when the creative force is confined to the lower chakras. But if these two fateful lovers have a place to meet, they can unite. Shiva and Shakti can meet in the Brahmaviharas, the divine abodes, of which there are 4. The first is metta, which is loving kindness and is centered around the heart and is the acceptance and love of oneself and others. And this loving kindness is a beacon for Shiva and Shakti to unite in the Anahata chakra. With the arising of the beacon of loving kindness, Shakti abandons all her lesser suitors and goes to meet Shiva in the palace of the heart. When they meet, they merge Shakti's ecstasy with Shiva's bliss into an ecstatic, blissful consciousness, which is exemplified in the concept of Ardhana Ishvara, the half-female god, which is the embodiment of Shiva and Shakti, together merged as one. As the two continue their ecstatically blissful union, the consciousness expands into the samadhi of infinite space, conjoined with compassion, karuna. This is the second Brahmavihara. This subsequently progresses into the samadhi of infinite consciousness, conjoined with empathetic joy, mudita, which is the third Brahmavihara. And this subsequently progresses into the samadhi of nothingness, conjoined with equanimity, upekkha, which is the fourth Brahmavihara. And so by abandoning unwholesome desire, rooting oneself in wholesome desire, and allowing the merging of Shakti and Shiva, one progresses through successively deeper states towards one's awakening.
If wholesome, moderate sexual activity is practiced, it can help to balance one's sadhana and lead to harmonious spiritual development. So if you have any questions about this video, feel free to send me an email at info@modernkriya.com. Also check our website at modernkriya.com and our YouTube channel. So thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.